I'm sure many of us here have watched or heard of the movie Soul. There's a line from that movie you may have heard of that has resonated with many individuals, myself included. The main character says the line, "Music is all I can think about, from the moment I wake up in the morning to the moment I fall asleep." My music journey started when I was 3. I attended the Hindustani classical lessons my dad drove me all the way to Simi Valley for. Surrounded by kids years older than me, I felt like the odd one out. However, the idea of me being a singer was one my dad wanted me to fulfill, and from there onwards, he made it a mission. Western vocal, Hindustani classical lessons, as well as guitar and piano classes were an integral part of my childhood years. But when you do something to a certain extent, the line between passion and extracurricular becomes blurred, and that line slowly came to my realization. What I considered a passion was just fading to a mere activity I was forced into. I was conflicted. For a hobby I spent so long doing, I couldn't just let it go. It wasn't that simple. However, one day while I was browsing through Spotify, I noticed a band displayed on the list of recommended artists. Though I knew absolutely nothing about the artist or genre, I gave it a listen, and that listen changed my entire perspective and approach to music. The banging power chords and the powerful vocals reminded me that I can really make or play that. The heavy drum breakdowns had an enticing flavor to it, hooking me on immediately. The prominent yet almost unnoticeable rhythmic bass was like a representation of my love in music. Not as loud as the guitar or drums, but still essential to my character. The feeling of realizing that there was so much more to music than the space I was confined to felt refreshing. The blue Ibanez guitar that sat at the corner of my room finally seemed to have a purpose. My guitar was covered in dust and had dull strings that hadn't been changed in years, a reflection of my dying interest in music. But seeing people find joy in my own hobby reshaped my way of thinking. I realized that there was so much more to music than a selective box. Music is the epitome of creativity. I began to explore this new genre of music and realized the rabbit hole I was about to go down. I started to stay up late, listening to playlists and albums of artists I would have never even known if I didn't give another chance to music. The list of artists and songs to listen to was starting to become never-ending. I felt a sense of joy that I had never felt before. I started to take guitar lessons at a new place, learning about new tricks, gaining a sense of community with the same hobby I felt so burnt out about. Though I severely struggled in picking up songs at first, I tried to be persistent. I found songs during those late-night music dives that best suited my abilities, determined to get better. After a while of learning new songs and basic music theory, I got the invitation to play at my school's music showcase. For the first time, I felt motivated and excited to do a performance. With the help of my guitar teacher, I gathered a group of people to play the different instruments. From resenting music to going out of my way to make it, I had rekindled a flame that I thought was gone forever. Though we only played one simple song, I was overfilled with excitement. That rhythm that I had lacked before was coming back, just in a more vivid and ear-catching shape. We as people move at certain paces, whether it be how fast our brain works, how well we perform in different fields, or even how fast we can run. No matter how fast we want to go though, our personal pace is catered to the way we as individuals work. Now, I want everyone to start clapping along with me. We're all clapping in harmonious rhythm, but doesn't that seem a little bit boring? Let's have the audience keep clapping like this, but let's spice it up a bit. Let's have this side of the audience start clapping like this. Let's spice it up even more. Keep clapping like this, but we'll have this side of the audience start clapping like this. We can all stop now. Notice how much more interesting it is when we all follow our own rhythm. Our individual pace, it was what makes us unique. We shouldn't feel the need to conform to how everyone else moves. Our current society has a strong value for social hierarchy. It's so common to believe that the people at the top happen to be listening to the trending music or whose interests happen to align with the current social media algorithm. Frontiers in Psychology, a research organization, states that conforming to social norms play a critical role in the development of human society. But I believe the opposite. I believe that when we stop caring as much about what other people think, we can progress to be more accepting, something so minuscule yet so important, silently trying to limit the dystopian view society tries to place on us. People feel silenced into believing that we are required to like every trending song or catch up on the latest album. When we realize that individuality is part of the flow of life, we gain perspective on so many different things. We learn how to accept people. Acceptance is peace. Acceptance leads to understanding different perspectives. Without perspective, society would lack innovation. Each of our minds works in different ways. With the more open perspective, we can move forward. Social conformity can feel so tiring to consistently address. However, the way you choose to act doesn't necessarily have to be restricted to what people want. Let me describe to you another example of how your own rhythm makes you unique. Think about a saxophone solo in a jazz song. In the background, you may hear the piano, the double bass, the trombone, or the trumpet. Each of these instruments are working together to create a harmony, but the saxophone still has its own tune. The same thing applies to a guitar solo in a song. Both of these instruments have their individual tune that makes those songs unique. Instead of ignoring the rhythm in our lives, we should embrace it. We should make it our own. We aren't bound to how it sounds, though it may seem like it. Sometimes as a civilization, we are expected to consistently be moving at the rate that everybody else moves, whether it be buying the exact same products or consuming the exact same media, an ideology that society has forced onto us. But in reality, whether we buy the trending products or not, it doesn't matter. Sometimes we just need to take a step back and let it happen. We're so used to trying to conform to societal norms that we forget that we are our own person. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a distinctive line between finding community and conformity. However, if we just follow whatever is currently trending, that's not considered community, that's what's considered conformity. This concept of individualism is one we all have, but some of us just haven't mastered it yet. But we should all still try to embrace it. The way we choose to experience life is like painting a blank canvas. Regaining my rhythm in music has given me another creative outlet, and I assure you that becoming more passionate about your hobbies allows for a sense of individuality. As I stand here today, I realize that life's rhythm isn't something we can always control, but it's something we can learn to embrace. Whether it's the challenges of perfectionism, the pressure to fit in, or the ever-changing pace of society, it all comes down to finding and appreciating your own unique beat. So as you move forward, remember, your rhythm is yours alone. Don't be afraid to dance to it, even if it sounds different from everyone else's. That's where true growth, creativity, and happiness begins. Thank you.